Well, joining us is Ukrainian Ambassador to the UK, Vadym Prystaiko. Lovely to see you again. I know you've been on the show before. It feels, because of the situation that Ukraine is in now, as if there is, well, we have heard from you yourself, haven't we, that there is a sense of strength and optimism about the Ukrainian position because of the support coming from around the world. Why then did President Zelensky say that Putin was a nobody and he wouldn't want to sit down and talk with him in a room? Because I think that might appear to people as though you're just not taking the chance to end the bloodshed.
Most probably what President Zelensky meant, that he tried before in 2019 to sit at the table when we were in the war for already 6 years. For many of you here, the war started 24th of February last year. For us, it's all by now almost 8 years. So we tried hard. They were a meeting in Paris, and this didn't work. That's why President Zelensky has mentioned that after he started the full invasion, I can't talk to him anymore. He's just killing civilians, killing my people.
There's a real concern that, yes, we've supplied tanks to your country, to Ukraine, but it has, in that one decision, has made countries in the West vulnerable, make them now the enemy and maybe a target. Should that be a concern for people of Britain, Germany, that they could be targeted by Russians?
First of all, I do believe that we are reducing the risk. You know, people are talking, are we exposing ourselves? Maybe we won't have enough tanks or something. No, actually, you are counting against Russian tanks. And each and every day, Ukrainian soldiers are reducing this threat for all the nations. And by the way, at the end of days, we just can't lose. I read today Timothy Snyder, the American historian. He mentioned 15 reasons for Ukraine to win and to be supported. There are many reasons. First of all, that's because it is fair to defeat Russians, because they came and killed so many people. And there are some other things, like to promote the democracy, to show that this is a viable project. And actually, we can show the other dictators around the globe, guys, you are not having colonial wars anymore. And reasons like, let's get off the hook of this gas and oil for the finally. So there are many, many reasons why we have to be supported. And we are supported, as you see, the tanks and everything is coming.
But how destructive could this war be, though? I mean, when we start thinking about tanks, I mean, this is really gone up a notch. It's escalated. There's no doubt about that. This is going to be destructive and, sad to say, even more deadly.
Destructive, you say. 8 million of us already outside of Ukraine. For some nations in Europe, it will be end for the nation. The third of our economy is not working at all. I mean, we'll have a drop of a third of everything we produce. The 15% almost of the territory is taken already. They're bombarding Kiev, bombarding Dnipro, our central cities. Each and every day we have it. I have an application which tells me when I have to go to the shelter, although I'm in London. That's how Ukrainians live each and every day. So this is deadly already. That's why we are trying to finish it up. That's why we need the weapons, not the whole year, but now to be able to prepare the strike. And the tanks are very good for that.
What is the end point for you? Because ultimately, all conflicts have to end, because we want them to end with some kind of resolution, which does involve talking. At what point would that be? When all the Russians are out of Ukraine? When, Putin has stepped down? What is the point where you would step down?
Whatever we want out of Putin personally, that's for Russians to decide what would happen with the Putin himself. What sort of a system they have to be running their own nation. What we want is they get off our territories all the way out. We will sit with them. Hopefully somewhere in the border, we'll establish the table and the border just to tell them, guys, that's yours. We don't need it, never needed it. So let's think how we'll live together for the next millennia.
So are you prepared to give up some part of that land?
No. When I'm talking about border, that's our border. That's where we establish our conversation.
Most people look at the history of war, and there has to be, in the end, to stop a war, some kind of compromise. Do you not even envisage that there may well be a time where you go, well, we'll give up something in order to stop the war and stop the killings?
We gave up already so much. So many lives. Our pace of development, of civilization is already been so many people been tortured and the kids left their homes, thousands of them. So we believe that our time, with your assistance, to go all the way, finish up this war, probably, hopefully, sooner than later.
Okay. Can I ask you a question? I mean, I think one of the greatest things, you know, I'm really proud of this country's done over the recent years is taken in over 130, 140,000 Ukrainians. What is your message to those Ukrainians right now? Because, you know, we hear that a lot of them, you know, would want to go back to Ukraine. That's not going to happen for a very long time, is it?
My president gave me a direct order to try to make their life comfortable here, but not too comfortable, so they will get back home, because we need these people to, you know, to restore the nation.
But have they got homes to go to? Have they got places to go back to? There will have to be a complete restoration plan, a rebuilding of parts of that country until anybody can think about going back home, right?
Some of these people are quite comfortable already here because they've been sheltered here and been cared of. You know, kids in the schools, the NHS is open for them. It's very good, very generous of you. So I need these people flexible to be able to run somewhere, to, you know, to get back.
Can I ask you another question? Because I know we're running out of time very quickly. And just to get whether you've heard this at all, there has been a report by another broadcaster, Channel 4 News, in this week, suggesting that some Ukrainians have been finding it hard to assimilate, to integrate in this country because of people of different races, in, say, cities like Birmingham and diversity. And they're saying they're finding it hard to get on with their lives. They're not used to living alongside Muslims and people of black or Asian origin. Have you heard anything like that from any of the Ukrainians?
We do have our own Muslim population, the Crimean Tatars, for example. We are not hugely exposed as yourself, but that's the beauty of us being all over the Europe. We are exposed to different cultures, different political systems, sometimes education and languages as well.
Yeah. So what would you say to any Ukrainians that are slightly worried about? They were living in an area of Birmingham and they're not used to. I mean, what would your message be to those?
You know, I know that Ukrainians are like to try different foods, different cultures, so I am not worried about that. What I would like them to show that they have to be as generous as those people who are hosting them. That's my message to them.
Okay.
Lovely. Thank you very much for joining us.
Well, we all continue to pray for some solution, don't we?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good to
Thank you.
speak to you this morning. Thank you.